Alright, this is gonna be a new what if because why the heck not? And this is gonna be what if Deku had gaster's powers and at the and since I don't know gaster's the original gaster's powers, we're gonna go for a glitch tail gaster. And I'm gonna say this now. Every 2 months Izuku's intelligence goes up by 6, and every 4 months his strength goes up by 6. So yeah, and at 1 year old, his intelligence is at a 36, and his strength by the age of 1, Izuku's strength is 18, and his intelligence is at 36. So when we get to 4, when he's 4, his strength and intelligence, his intelligence is at 144 out of 104, and his strength is at 72 out of 800. And All Might strength is at 700. So yeah, and he does not have a quirk whatsoever. And at the moment, his soul, if you think of Undertale, his soul is a determination soul with a medium amount of the bravery in it. And when we get to, and when, and in this one, Isashi does not live with Inko and Izuku. And when they get to the Quirk Doctor, the Quirk Doctor says he's quirkless, and Izuku has been hiding his intelligence and strength for 4 years straight. He's been able to do it. So yeah, and he's pretty much pretending that he's the same type as Izuku from canon. That's pretty much what he's pretending to be. And no one can see through it. But once he gets to a certain age, that he'll stop pretending and become him and show his real self. So Bakugo thinks that he's this person, and his real self still is kind, but he's calm and collective as his real self. He's not shy as his real self. He's just acting shy and afraid of Bakugo when Bakugo tries bullying him, which technically does work in his eyes. And now we get to, and unknowns to Inko, Zuko has been training his strength. Like, his strength and speed has, like, pretty much his overall strength and speed. Oh, I forgot to mention this. His speed also increases by the same amount as his strength. In All Might's speed would be at 400. So, at the moment when he's 4, his strength and speed is 72, and his intelligence is 144. So between between the years, his soul slowly, like, between the years, he had a girlfriend, and okay, let's do a little bit. Let's go into between the years from 4 to 14, and we're gonna say this is when he's 6 and he gets a girlfriend. 6 months later, his girlfriend cheats on him, and he just gets over with it and breaks up with her. And after that moment, his soul now looks like this. Now, his strength and speed has been pretty much increased itself since Izuku has been training. Now it's, and since his training gives him a +4 for the months that he would normally get increased, like, so it pretty much jumped from 6 to, okay, so since Ezekiel has been training, and that training gives him a +4 to every 2 months for how his strength and speed would normally increase, he gets 10. His strength and speed increases 10 every 4 months. So by the time he's 14, his intelligence is at the max. Is like at the he's the smartest person in the world now. But he only makes it so he looks like a normal person. So yeah. Yeah, right now, this is what his stats are for intelligence, strength, and speed. And when he's 14 years old, yeah, he technically still admires All Might, but something is going to happen to make him hate him. And pretty much we get to that day where the teacher says that I know all of you want to be heroes, and he does that paper thing, and all of them use their quirks except Bakugo because yeah, he doesn't do it, and Deku because he doesn't have a quirk. Eventually he will have a power though. And Zuko, well, pretty much the teacher says that, oh, Bakugo wants to go to UA, and Bakugo does his thing, and then he says, Izuku Midoriya, you want to go to UA too, right? And Izuku just does the thing that he would do in canon. Bakugo bullies him. It looks like it bothers him, but he literally makes his body do it. So it looks like he is actually scared. But in the inside, he is completely calm. And yeah, he's making it so if something happens to his mindset, he's just gonna let go of that personality of a shy and scared kid. And once that shy and scared kid's personality is let go of, yeah, the mumbling's gonna go away as well. So yeah, and when we get to the Sponge Villain attack, Suku pretty much does what he does in canon. Then when All Might does his thing, and All Might jumps, Suku pretty much jumps onto his leg and then asks the question, can a quirkless person become a hero? And All Might does his thing and says, no, you should become a police officer or firefighter if you want to help people. And then, after when All Might leaves, something happens to him. There's a fourth emotion coming from Izuku's soul. It pretty much spins in a circle to, the middle part of his soul starts to spin in a circle, and it shows black, which we know as the emotion of hate. and Izuku has a small amount of it, but enough for his power to be unlocked. But he holds. But before that, even. But when that happens, Izuku is just. Pretty much when that's happening, Izuku just drops to his knees and he is in agony because, yeah, this is gonna hurt a lot. And once that fourth um that fourth emotion is finally done, pouring itself into his soul, his power is finally unleashed. And you see a mostly red, orange, blue, and black aura, like a light going up to the skies with red, orange, blue, and black. And black being the least amount, but it being closer around Izuku's body. And his body starts changing from his normal color to like skeleton white. And he gets holes in his hands. And he pretty much looks like Gaster, but with and his hair changes almost completely black, but his tip, like the bottom parts of his hair, like the parts that are like the tips of it, like the very like the tips of his hair is green. It's like the black and green in his hair just pretty much swapped. Then his eyes, actually no, his hair turned white as green. Yeah, so they turned white in with the tips of his hair green, and he still has his green eyes. So, yeah. Pretty much he looks like this, but white and these and this. Pretty much he has those scars forming on his face, but this type of hair and eyes. So, yeah. Pretty much most of his hair pretty much turned white, but there's some pieces of his hair that, like the tips and, like there's some white in his hair, and there's a little bit of green in there. So, yeah. And there's like marks coming onto Izuku's face. And they go from it. And they're both coming from his, pretty much going either under or going across his eye. Pretty much like the ones Gaster has. But one of them just goes all the way to the bottom of his eyelid. So yeah. And to show the eyes that he'll have if he takes something seriously, pretty much this is what all three of his eyes. This one not taking it seriously, this one taking it seriously, and then this one when he's mad, which is the one where his eyes are completely purple. Oh, and for this one, Zuko is pretty much gonna have all the features that Gaster has, but with green eyes and white and green hair. And the marks on his... Yeah, and... Yeah. And Zuko decides and finally let go of that personality, and he finally lets his real self out. And he sees his his new look, and he goes to look at a mirror because he has a mirror, and he sees that his hair has changed a bit. It's now white and green, not just dark green, pretty much. It's white and green. It's like, I must have unlocked some type of power. And then he just starts walking home. Then he hears an explosion in it. You figure out one of his powers right there. Teleportation. And when Zuko just teleports, he's on one of the roofs which is right above the sludge villain and Bakugo. And when he looks down, he sees Bakugo. And yeah, Zuko does not see Bakugo as a friend. From now on, he's gonna call him Koski. Bakugo. And he just pretty much drops down there. And he pretty much just has a red eye right now. And Zuko just has his hands crossed. And he pretty much goes like, silly Bakugo, you never learn, do you? Actually, he just says that in his mind, and Zuko just says this out loud. And then he feels that he can use something called blasters in hands. And he summons a blaster. Well, actually, no. Zuko also feels that he can use some type of magic, some type of ability to pull Bakugo towards him. And he does it. And he pretty much does this thing where Sans would make your heart go blue, your soul go blue, and Zuko brings some Bakugo close. Yeah, and Zuko just pretty much throws him to the heroes. And right after that, he summons a gaster blaster. And he destroys the sludge villain. Because yeah, he's not playing around. Because yeah, after what Almost said, he's not gonna play around anymore. And after he kills the sludge villain, the heroes try to scold him for killing something, but he just teleports away because he doesn't want to deal with shit like this. Then he teleports right in front of his house, not inside, in front of. And he just pretty much opened the door, and she just pretty much says, Zuko, you're home. And she doesn't see his transformation, pretty much what he looks like now, at the moment, and his eyes are back to normal, which is green eyes. And he's like, hey mom. And his voice sounds and by the end of the 10 months, he'll know all of his powers, except that crazy mad one. And yeah, it's gonna be hard for people to cut through his skin. because its hard as bone now. Actually, no, it's stronger than metal. Is it strong? Yeah, it's to cut through him. You're gonna need a strong type of metal to cut through him, or even penetrate him. And yeah, by the end of the 10 months, yeah, by the start of the 10 months, his voice is gonna start changing into a darker voice, like this one. Yeah, like that one. So by the end of the 10 months, he's gonna go like, "What are you doing here?" Pretty much like that voice. Okay, I'm gonna say I forgot where I last left off with before I paused, so I'm just gonna say he teleported right in front of his house, and when Inko said, Izuku, you're home, and Izuku's voice sounds the same right now, but after the 10 months, it's gonna sound more like this. What are you doing here? So, yeah, something more like that. And after he makes his output for himself, he's gonna sound like this. What are you doing here? So yeah. And Zuko just goes like, And Zuko just says, well, and she goes, what's wrong, baby? And then she turns around to see Zuko's appearance and goes like, what the freak just happened? And Zuko just pretty much tells her what happened, from his question to All Might to the power surge. Yeah, pretty much that beam of 4 colors that came out of him. And Inko asked what those 4 colors were, and Izuku goes like, give me that. And he closes his eyes and fists, and then when he opens both of them, she sees his soul, which is red, orange, blue, and black, pretty much from that size of order. And Inko asks what those 4 colors are, and Izuku goes like, from what I'm guessing, I'm gonna guess that red and orange are determination and bravery. Blue being sadness, and black being, well, probably a negative emotion. And it's like, maybe, what do you guess it is? And it's like, hate? And like, how did you get hate? And it's like, maybe because my idol pretty much said that my dream was not achievable. It's like, and pretty much she asked what happened to him being shy and all that, and Izuku goes like, oh, that I hid my true self to see how people would react to Coco's person that barely met a normal Coco's person, and you'll see, and you've seen how the people reacted to a normal Coco's person. And she's like, yeah. And Izuku goes like, now I don't know if I want to be a hero or not now. And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, after what All Might said, I think he's a tad bit right. Now I can't be a hero. I feel like I could help people in another way. And she kind of sees where he's going, and it's like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, if I want to help people with the powers I have now, I might need to go for a vigilante. And she's like, why? And she's like, come outside and let me show you. And they go out back, and Izuku just shows his gasters and hands. And he pretty much fires off his gaster blaster. And it hits trees, and it destroys them, like, pretty much destroys them from the atom. And she goes like, eat! Like, she's scared. Like, yeah. I don't think I would be able to become a hero with this type of power easily. Sure, some of these are used for defense, but yeah. And so, and she pretty much supports him all the way because now, oh, and now Zuko can see other people's souls because yeah, everybody does have a soul. I don't know what to have the class 1A souls be, but Inko's is she would have patience, kindness, and joy. Well, actually, no, she would have compassion, kindness, and patience. Yeah, that's what she would have. And Bakugo would have ambition. I feel like, and for the person that I'm gonna ship him with, I don't know who yet, but I'll find out who eventually. And Zuko is gonna be the first person in his world to make nano machines. And then the nano machines are gonna make something with this type of helmet and this type of outfit. And all the nano machines are going to be held in that. And there's going to be a button that is going to be camouflaged on the bracelet. And Zuko will know exactly where it is. And by the end of the 10 months, he would have made the nano machines and the bracelet. Because he is crazy smart. He's the smartest man on Earth. Well, actually, the smartest creature on Earth, if you count Nezu. So yeah. And Inko actually wanted to train. And Zuko actually said to her, Mom, I think you should bring yourself back to what you were back then. And she's like, why, Zuko? And he's like, in my opinion, I think you looked better in that condition. And I think if you ever wanted to help me, if your body was back to that, you could help me with anything that you could. And she's like, okay, honey. And during the 10 months, he's still been training. And yeah, Inko's gonna get back to her original shape. Well, also, she's gonna get some muscle. So yeah, by the end of the month, 10 months, she's back to her original state when Izuku's 4. Yeah. And yeah, in at the end of the 10 months, Izuku starts doing adventure. Immediately, pretty much, I was like, so mom, do you support me in doing adventure hunting work? And she was like, of course, honey. I'll help you any way I can. He's like, thank you, mother. I'll do my best. And she's supporting him all the way. Yeah. Now we get to a week later. And yeah, the people that went to the entrance exam, Zuko just pretty much went about pretty much during the entrance exam. Zuko just watched over the people during the entrance exam, just in case any villains decide to pop up. And when he saw no one trying to save this Araka girl, he just went like, these are not true heroes. And he immediately went to destroy the 0 pointer because, yeah, he's on the top of the teacher block, that block thing that all the teachers were in. And when the teacher saw this person just jump in, okay, yeah, all they seen was a guy with a pretty much that outfit that I mentioned earlier. And as soon as he saw that, he pushed the, yeah, as soon as the entrance exam started, he pushed that button on the bracelet, and his outfit went onto him by the nano machines. The nano machines basically made it. And when Izuku saw that 0 pointer going to stop on Uraraka, and he saw nobody going to help her, he pretty much said, no true heroes are here. And he immediately went to destroy the 0 pointer. Yeah. Oh, and Inko's on. Yeah, if I forgot. Inko does have her original form back, which was her skinny self. And for her strength, she's at 82. Yeah, originally she would have been at 32. But now she's at 72. Or 82. Yeah, she's at 72. And remember, Online's at 60 for strength and speed. And Inko's at a 72 for both her strength and speed. Her intelligence is still the same. And Zuko just pretty much destroys the robot. Well, actually, no, he doesn't get off from where he is. He just summons a gaster blaster right below the 0 pointer and pretty much blows everything right above the legs. And you see all the rubble from her again pretty much getting lifted up. And it looks like there's a blue aura around it, around the rubble. And Araka can stand up now. And when she saw a gaster blaster destroying it, she looked around to see who did it. And then she saw someone staring at him. She felt someone staring at her. And she looked anywhere. And then she finally saw someone. She saw a person in an outfit. Which, then after the exams was over, which Araka did get some more robots, after the exams were over, she looked back up there, and she just saw him vanish in thin air. And the teachers everyone, including Nezu, were wondering, who the heck did that? And yeah, Inko and Izuku never, ever put his power as a quirk or anything like that. The world still knows him as quirkless, which technically he is. And if Inko gets a third emotion in her soul, she will unlock her powers. Which I'm gonna say is gonna be a more powerful gravity power. Pretty much, she can increase gravity anytime she wants. When she unlocks her powers, she is gonna have Toriel's powers. Yeah, she's gonna have her powers. And her third emotion is gonna be bravery. But she'll only get that after the first time she helps Izuku on a vigilante thing. And yeah. After that, Izuku got then Inko asked him, where were you, Izuku? And it's like, I looked over the entrance exam for the UA. And I didn't see anyone trying to save someone. And he just said that in an angry voice. And he's like, it looks like there's no true heroes in that year's school for that block. And she's like, maybe. And Izuku was like, So, Mother, when do you think I should start my vigilante work? And she's like, I should say, when the UA would start. And she's like, I think that's a good idea. And then now Inko is still working out. And yeah, she's gonna have when UA would normally start, she's pretty much gonna have the same amount of muscles Izuku had in canon. And Inko's outfit is gonna be like Izuku's, but a female version of it. And she's gonna have a female version bracelet with the same thing. Oh, and also, he can also make nano machine weapons, which these are the ones that he liked to use the most. And when we get to the first day of UA, some of the heroes hear about, well, actually, one or two heroes see a person jumping from rooftop to rooftop. Actually, no. We could see the first day of UA in all the same thing happens except Izuku's not there. So Mineta would get kicked out of class. And we're gonna say Shinso was put in that class. And yeah, like a month later, Inko's gonna start helping Zuko. And after the first time she helps him, she's gonna get her powers. Yeah, and that's gonna be Toriel's powers. Yes! And right now, Zuko is overpowered. Yeah. So, yeah. And on the first night of Zuko's vigilante work, he saves a lot more people than All Might can do in one day. Actually, in a week. So, yeah. Zuko's doing way better than him. And now there's rumors of a vigilante. And the only ones that really go out at night, which is Aizawa and whoever else does it at night, mostly at night, goes out. And all Aizawa or Eraserhead can see is a person in a completely black outfit just jumping or running through the streets. Jumping on rooftops or running through the streets and fighting crime. And yeah, if Zuko... Oh, and the people that place him in live, like the people that he sees as worthy to live, they call him the Reaper. Yeah, his vigilante name is gonna be the Reaper. And we get to someone. And this person really hasn't started yet. Like, he's about to start, and he hears of the Reaper. And he wants to meet this person. So, yeah. We get, and Aizawa tries to find him, but every time he gets close, Zuko can immediately sense him and he teleports away. So every time anyone tries to get near him and wants to either capture him or talk to him, he teleports away. And for the heroes, this happens for pretty for them, this happens for weeks. And when Zuko sees someone that kind of looks like him, but is more in a ninja outfit, and then Zuko just sees this person wants to talk to him. And Zuko just, when the Stain says, so you must be the hero, so you must be the Reaper, and Zuko just touches the button on his bracelet and goes like, and pretty much when the nano machines start going into the bracelet and it finishes, Zuko goes like, pretty much folds his shoulders and was like, I am? What of it? And Stan just asks, why did you become a vigilante? And Zuko just says, because the #1 hero said I couldn't become a hero. And Stan immediately asks why would he say that, and Zuko just says this, because I am quirkless. Nothing more, nothing less. I am just a quirkless person. But after that moment, this happened. And then he shows his soul. And he points at the black spot. And Stain is shocked at the black part, and he's like, "What is that?" And Izuku goes like, "That is my soul." Every person has one. It's just if you have enough motions in your soul, you will unlock your true power, which is not a quirk. As far as I know, it's a power long forgotten. And Stain right now only has. And Izuku is one of the most powerful right now. And right now, Stain only has one emotion for his soul. Which is pretty much determination. And Izuku just sees Stain has the determination soul. And he's like, so we have a determination soul. And Stain is like, you can see my soul. And Izuku goes like, yes, I have the power to see if a person is right in front of me and I focus, I can see their souls. And you have a determination. I'm gonna guess you, and since you only have one emotion in your soul, I'm gonna guess you're only gonna need one more emotion to complete your transformation. And yeah, now his Inko looks more like a goat without the horns. She just looked. Her hair just pretty much turned white and green, like Izuku. But Izuku's hair is completely white. Hers is like silver white. And Stain kind of changes his ambition a little bit, and he kind of sees All Might as just a hero a hero that truly saves people, but also turned down a person that was quirkless. So he kind of has mixed feelings with All Might, but everyone else that is a false hero, hero kill. Zuko just then Stain asks, "What do you do as a vigilante?" And he's like, "I save more people than All Might can do in a week. That's what I do. I save people that need saving, and I kill people who need killed. That is all." And Stain asks for his name, and Izuku goes like, "You first. I do not even know who you are." And he just goes like, "My apologies. My name is Stain." And Izuku just says, "When we are in private, I will call you Stain, and you will call me Izuku. But when we're in public, we will know each other as the Reaper in your title." And he goes like, "Hero killer." And he's like, "So, you hunt down fake heroes. At least we have something in common." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And then Izuku just goes like, "One time when I was saving someone, the person that was hurting this person was a hero, which I saw as a fake one. So I destroyed him with my power." And Stan asks what his power is, and then Zuko just snaps his fingers, and then Stan just sees pretty much a certain amount of hands he can spread out, and a gaster blaster right behind him, and like, "This is my power." And then he snaps again, and it disappears. And Stan is like, "You are overpowered, kid." And Izuku goes like, I know this. And I'm pretty sure I'm the smartest creature alive. And Jane goes like, and actually, Izuku just asks, so, you want to work together? We could use each other's help. I could make you a suit like mine. And Serena thinks about it, and he thinks that would be nice. And Izuku just asks, so, what do you want to add to put the nano machines? What do you want to use to put the store the nano machines in? And he says, okay, hold on, give me a second. Oh, wait, yeah. Now, between the 10 months where he makes a outfit for Stain, because yeah, they're gonna start working together. And between those 10 months, he also between the 10 months, Izuku and Stain have worked together, and like a month later, after they met, Inko finally starts helping them, which pretty much in and Inko starts helping them after a month of them working together, and Izuku just goes like, and when he meets up with Stain, he's like, Stain, we'll be having someone new helping us. And he's like, who is it? And then she pops up and goes like, so he must be Stain. And he's like, I am. And then she shows herself. And she kind of looks like Izuku, but different. And Stain just asks, are you his mother? And he's like, she is, what of it? And Stain just asks, did you force her into this? And he's like, no, not at all. She's doing this of her own free will, actually. Isn't that right, mother? And she's like, yes. And yeah, I'm gonna make it so her name is Goddess of Death. Yeah. So now we get to the 5th mark of that between the months of the 10 months. Oh, and before I do that, let's head back to the them doing the Heroes versus Villains. Bakugo's team wins because yeah, there's no Izuku in there this time. Actually no. It's gonna be Shinso instead. Because yeah, I don't know who's gonna replace Izuku. I'm just gonna say it's a random student from 1B. Not that rude idea that thinks too highly of himself. So Shinso's gonna win with Oraka on his team. And she's still wondering who that person was from the entrance exam. And Ollie hasn't heard of this yet, of the vigilante yet. None of the vigilantes, neither Izuku nor Stain, have gotten a high enough representation to be able to be known. And when we get to the USJ, that's when Izuku and Stain pop up there, but not on the villain side. They just pop up from the ceiling, and this is between the time Izuku and Stain are working together, and I'm pretty sure the USJ happens a day or two after the USJ, after the Heroes vs. Villains. So yeah, and Izuku met Stain 3 weeks after the, no, 2 weeks, a week after he met him 3 weeks after the entrance exam. So yeah, and Izuku and Stain just pop up from the build, from up above, and Izuku goes like, "Are you ready, Stain?" And it's like, "Yes, the Reaper." Well, actually, no. Izuku just goes like, "Are you ready, Heroes Killer?" Like, "Yes, Reaper." And they both. Then Izuku goes like, and breaks and right after the villains go through that portal, Izuku just breaks one of the windows, and Stain breaks another, and they both drop down. Actually, no, and Izuku just makes a gaster for both of them to land on, and both of them drop right on top of it. And when everybody in there, including the villains, heard the glass break, and they look up and see a pretty much a dinosaur, a dragon's head, a dragon skull, and they don't know who the heck made it. And then it descends, and pretty much Izuku and Stain are pretty much back to back, having their standing straight up with their arms crossed. And Stain still have his weapons, and when they see Izuku, they see the Reaper, the villain side, some of the villains, the lower villains are gonna know of the Reaper, but not Stain. Well, not know of the Reaper, but not the Hero Killer. No one's gonna know of the Hero Killer. And pretty much every other villain except every villain that is on the low rank villains are gonna know of the Reaper, and they're gonna get scared shitless. But the League of Villains will not know of the Reaper at all until later on, like right after this attack. And Izuku pretty much goes like this: "Heroes, stay back." And the Reaper and Hero Killer start attacking the villains, and their teamwork is one of the greatest teamwork you could ask for. And Izuku is just botting pretty much the Hero Killer and the Reaper are botting the lower class villains. Then Izuku just then the Reaper makes a hand appear with pretty much a green spot inside the hole in its hand, and it makes a green wall so no one can get through it. And it says, why does this yours forget self? So yeah. And the Reaper and the Hero Color are still go finish all the low rank, all the villains except League of Villains. And sure, I'll keep being like, "Who the heck is this? Are these two?" And Gary pretty much not knowing anything. It's like, "I don't know, sir." And then Shigeru being like, "Release the Nomu," and then he does, and Zuko just goes like, just pretty much. The Hero Killer Stain could immediately sense anger from the inside Izuku and be like, "What is that, Reaper?" And like, "That thing is not human. It was created from a human." And Stain can see why he's angry now. And he gets angry too because, yeah, even he wouldn't do that. And he just kills fake heroes. But now he actually does what the Reaper does. But he still gets the title Hero Killer at the end. And yeah, Zuko, and anytime Stain goes to hunt a fake hero, Zuko just helps him plan it out. And his battle strategies and his intelligence are the same. So yeah, he's very powerful. And Izuku just blitzes the Nomu and immediately kills it by just stabbing it in the brain. And goes like, just pretty much slices the brain out of the Nomu's head and goes like, "This thing does not deserve to live." Pretty much says that right after he cuts the brain off. And that's when All Might comes in. And he sees these two. He sees two men, one of them in a ninja-like outfit and one of them in completely dark, with a completely dark outfit and a completely dark mask, fighting the villains. And when Shigaraki and Kirigiri, when Izuku is about to stab Shigaraki, Kirigiri teleports both of them out there. And then Izuku just goes like, pretty much for now, he just calls him Killer. "Killer, we need to leave now." And then Zuko just teleports to Hero Stain, grabs his shoulder, and teleports away. And then All Might just asks for Aizawa to talk to Aizawa in private, and he asks Aizawa who they were, and Aizawa just can only tell what one of their titles is, the Reaper. And he just tells them that he's done more work than you could do in a week. And All Might is surprised. And when All Might does try to find him, he can't. Not one bit. No one can. Barely anyone can. The only one that was closest to getting close to him was Aizawa. Yeah, he was the only one that was closest to getting to him. And yeah, now we skip to. No, I'm gonna say that. Yeah, Zuko and Stain are pretty much gonna be in almost every event. The sports votes stay the same, except Yeah, there's no one to change Todoroki's mind about his quirk. And I'm gonna say Todoroki has a bravery soul. And both Stain and Izuku are gonna be at each and every one. But when it gets, and I think it's I think that training arc is when I'm gonna say that the training that training camp is also when Inko also starts. Is a day after Inko starts helping Izuku and Stain. And Stain and Izuku and Inko know where all the places are gonna be at. And no, they are not gonna work for the League of Villains at all. Because Stain has some of Izuku's ideals now. Is like save as many as possible and kill who needs to be killed. So the League of Villains, to them, they need to be killed. And now Inko has her powers. And Inko's trying to train with them. And she's gonna combine, and she's also trained her quirk, so she knows that she can actually kill with her quirk. Yeah, if you didn't know that, she technically can, because in her description of her quirk, she said that she can pull small objects to her, which technically also means your atoms. So technically, she trained hard enough, so now she's able to pretty much pull any type of small object, even your atoms. And eventually her fire is going to be blue like Dobby. Yeah, I think it's that powerful. And Izuku just is like, alright. And when it comes to the training camp, the three of them, the goddess of death, is Inko is going to be called the goddess of death, Izuku the Reaper, and Stain the hero killer. And when all three of them are watching over the students and watching all over the camp, and then they see blue fire and Izuku, and the Reaper just goes like, goddess of death. Well, pretty much, no, she's gonna be called Death, and right now he's still gonna be called, and Stain's still gonna be called Killer right now. Actually, no, he's gonna be Hero Killer now, and it's like, Hero Killer, Death. We need to find out where that came from. And they go up, they pretty much jump from tree to tree and see Dolly doing the blue flames. And then Suga just says, Death, Hero Killer, follow me, quickly. And they head back to that house that they were on top of earlier. And then Izuku, and I'm just gonna say this, Izuku makes his nanomachines pretty much make a note. And he attaches it to a kunai he makes with his nanomachines as well. And he throws a kunai right in front of one of the heroes. And it says, and when one of the heroes pick it out, and the note says, there was villains at your camp. Alone, alert all your heroes and students. And the teacher and the hero just goes like, oh crap, and pretty much tells all the teachers and students that there are villains here. And like, how do you know? And he pretty much just tosses them the note, and they see the note. And then the nano machines just, Izuku just pretty much snaps fingers out from somewhere, and the nano machines disperse and go straight back to him. But no one knows that. They just see it just dismantle, even the paper. And yeah, now they're alerted about the villains, and Izuku just sees that the little kid that was there ain't there, and Izuku goes like, "Death, hero killer, protect these students, protect these civilians, these so-called these heroes in training. I'll be back." And Death goes like, "Where are you going, Reaper?" And he's like, "I'm gonna see where that little kid ran off to." And they both nod their heads and watch over the people that are at that area. And they know, and Inko knows that her son and the Stain character are ready to kill, and she needs to learn that too. And eventually she will, in like a month's time. And Izuku just sees the little boy almost being attacked by, like, about to get hit by Muscular, and Izuku just gets in it. All you see from Izuku's eyes is red and blue, and Izuku just immediately teleports. Actually, no, just makes a shield for just pretty much the green force field in front of Koda. And when Muscular hits it, it hurts him a lot. And it's like, oh, what the hell? And then Izuku just teleports in and goes like, "Are you alright?" He pretty much has his back towards Koda and goes like, "Are you alright?" Pretty much looking at him. Pretty much twisting his head and looking at him. Going like, "Are you alright?" And Koda just being scared right now, going like, "Yes." And like, "Go. Then go. Now." And Koda wants to say something, but then then the Reaper just says, "No." And he's scared, so he runs off to where he knows, or to the building. And Izuku just then puts Muscular inside of a green, pretty much makes the green shield disappear and makes a green bubble around Muscular and starts squeezing him in it. And Muscular can't get out of it at all. So he's gonna get squished to death. Yeah. And then even if Muscular could get out, the moment he did, Muscular would have gotten impaled through his heart with a bone. Because yeah, he can do that. I remember that. And we'll get to Izuku, which is, and Muscular gets killed, and Izuku just pretty much teleports back to his team, which is Hero Killer and Death, which is his mother. And we get to the wild pussycats getting alert that Koda is back, and I'm just thinking at least he's safe. And then Yeah. Okay, then Death and then the Reaper says, "Death, you're a killer. Let's let's kill as many as we can." And they go like, "All right, Reaper." And then they start. Yeah, Death still can't kill anyone yet. Her Inko's conscience still says that she can't kill, and Zuko just says to Death, "Death, you don't have to kill. You just make sure they can't hurt anyone any longer." And yeah, with her powers, she can make it so they can no longer. Oh, and also with her quirk, she can totally now remove the atoms that are for her, that are for the quirk genes. So she can easily take away the like now Inko only has to do it once and the items can be pulled away from the small object can be pulled towards her. And since atoms are small objects, she can easily pull those towards her. And if she gets and she can aim correctly to the right genes. And for this, she's gonna go for the quirk genes. And she's gonna completely destroy those genes. So yeah. And Inko just pretty much destroys all the genes. Oh, and I'm gonna say this. They didn't find Toga, and Toga didn't find them. She's still on the streets somewhere. And and before Mr. Compress could do anything, she just immediately kills him. So, you will not capture anyone. And he starts killing villains left and right. And pretty much the only ones that are left is Dobby, Twice, Shigaraki, one of the Nomus, and that's it. And those guys escape. And pretty much, Suka just puts one of his nano machines onto the Nomu. And it gets into its system, so yeah. It's pretty much gonna multiply itself inside the Nomu. It'll make it so, and when it gets to the brain of the Nomu, yeah, it's gonna make it so that not only is that now once it does that, yeah, Suku's gonna be full control of it, and he can control his nano machines with his mind. And since the Nomu is gonna eventually have its systems filled with nanomachines, he can completely control it all the way up, all the way from the toes all the way up to the head. So yeah. And I'm gonna say this Nomu has a dangerous amount of a dangerous fire. Yeah, and And Izuku and the nano machines aren't only gonna, it's gonna completely spread throughout the Nomu's body in an hour or two. And 12 hours later, Izuku just pretty much knows that the nano machine is done with its job and goes like, pretty much tells the nano machines to destroy all the Nomus. And 2 hours later, the Nomu is back in that section where all the Nomus are at. And all the Nomus are in there. So, he pretty much commands the nano machines in that Nomu to kill every single Nomu in there. And then destroy itself. And it does so. And the nano machines are strong, and since the nano machines aren't gonna protect the Nomu, because Izuku, once the Nomu's dead, it's the moment the Nomu gets the fire power to its max and is about to die, the nano machines are gonna be out of it. Yeah, and we get to an hour later, and all the Nomus are dead. But actually, no. Zuko just leaves that one alive. Actually, no. He pretty much then is, and all three of them head back to base, which is gonna be a place in a cave, pretty much like Batman's, but way better. It's gonna be a laboratory with all the tech and stuff, and yeah, and it's gonna also have all the equipment they need, which for Inko would be, well, for Stain it would be his weapons, and for them it would just be any food and water they would need if they had to stay there for a while. Oh, and if you could just go to a regular school in the morning. Actually, no, he's gonna make it so he's homeschooled. Yeah, he's gonna make it. Inko made it so he's homeschooled for high school. So yeah, there's gonna be there's gonna be some suspicion for people that know him a little bit, but for anyone else, nah. And when they're just hanging out as normal people, Stan likes them because they are kind of like him. It's just his Yuga Tengo doesn't have a quirk, he has a power. And after a few months, they are like a family. And when we get to Ida trying to get revenge for his older brother, yeah, this is gonna be like 3 months later after the thing. I'm gonna say staying it way after Ida's brother after the trip. the training camp. And either tries to get revenge, but then he realizes that there's 3 people there instead of just 1. And it's Death, Reaper, and Hero Killer. And Reaper's just teleports right behind him, and he's like, And then he kicks him right in front of Hero Killer, and goes like, I believe this one went for revenge. And Stan goes like, are you sure, Reaper? And goes like, look into his eyes and tell me I'm wrong. Stan looks in his eyes and goes like, you are correct, my friend. And in Death, pretty much, young people will never learn. And the Reaper and Hero Killer just laugh at this and goes like, you know it's a Death. And then Eater gets killed. Yeah. Actually, no. Before Stan could do it, he thinks he's still a hero in training. He could still become a hero like someone better than All Might. And Zuko goes like, Stan, we may as well let him go. Matter of fact, Zuko just knocks him out. And goes like, there. Now we're going to just leave him here. And then they leave. And that's where I'm going to end it off. If you like this, like, subscribe, and comment below. Anyway. And you guys tell me who I should ship Izuku with. Anyway. Peace. Or, as you guys know him, deku. Anyway. This is the end of the video. Bye.